There we go. We were muted. All right. See, every day is a winding road, and it's always a new adventure here, doing live streams for the Comics Coffee Table. That's right. It is the Sunday new review magazine show where we talk about new releases that are available at our local comic book shops, and not just things that are in part of the big two superhero fair. But guess what? We're huge fans of them, and we like their ongoing stories. And so we keep tuning into them, and we keep, praying for the best with them as well. So pull up a chair, grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today. It is Christmas Eve, and I got tomorrow off. So Slanche, I'm going to have a pint or two with you. Yes. This is Guinness. This is how you properly pour a pint of Guinness from the nitro can. And if you ever seen a Guinness poured at the tap at your local public house, bar, or even a restaurant that has finer tastes in cervezas, know that a Guinness needs to settle, and it has nitrogen in the line it makes it a creamier kind of texture and flavor. So there's a little nitrogen pod that goes off when you open this can, thus giving it a further carbonation and effervescence. And on a cosmological scale, I just want to say that this, to me, is like represented the light cone of the Big Bang. There was a bang, and then everything started going into place. Matter started coalescing out of photons, and hydrogen becomes deuterium, that becomes helium, and then it all began. Yes, and we are here, and we are made of star stuff. Hey, Dwayne Muth, how are you, man? Good to see you. Thank you so much for dropping by today. Good to see you. And Dwayne and I are Bronze Age babies, and proud of it. It's nice to see everyone. Happy Christmas, as they say in the Britons. Merry Christmas Eve. Hope that you are surrounded by family, food, friends, loyalty, presents, the smell of pine cone needles, maybe squealing children and rustling wrapping paper, or the sound of a snoring grandparent, and maybe just like there's a turkey in the oven, and all the good things. Me personally, what am I doing for Christmas? I start this up at 8 a.m. and it finishes about 8 p.m. And I figured this out last year that it has got cast and crew commentary tracks. And that, oh my gosh, that is like my bread and butter. As a cinema fan, I love hearing the anecdotes and stories. You got Sir Christopher Lee on this thing, man. Like, of course I needed to tell him that, of course I could take a knife in the back and die. Talking to Brad Dourif about his big scene of Saruman's death scene. Dude, yeah. This is some good stuff. And like the Hobbits talking over the end credits. And they're just like, they're like that in real life. They talk like that to each. It's just really great stuff. All 4 Hobbits came to the Fan Expo last year. See, I'm only a fan of the movies, but that's what I'm doing for Christmas Day. I have lots of food. I'll be celebrating all the Hobbits eating times, breakfast, second breakfast. Hey, Bone, happy Festivus. It's time to air your grievances. Did you bring your aluminum pole? Serenity now. Exactly. And we are the Comics Coffee Table. We usually assemble here at this very own Comics Coffee Table. We have this is a table here. It's a desk with a desktop computer, and it's time to well, it came from coffee tables. I mean, the coffee table was always where my friends and I would hang out, shoot the breeze, catch up, have a cup of whatever it is we're shoving our noses under our noses today. and cheers. Thank you so much, Brandon. It's good to see everyone out there. And yeah, if you've noticed, we used to do a daily TV show. We used to have a daily let's see, Festivus for the rest of us. That's right, Dwayne. That's from Seinfeld. And let's see. I want to say hello to Seth, who's new. Seth Kaser, who I just met at Film Threat. Film Threat is having a thing right now. At the end of the show, I'm going right back over there and just hanging out. Chris Gore's got a hibachi with a Star Wars logo on fire and playing strike-free Christmas music and instrumental stuff. And I'm just hanging out in the live chat, passing gas and passing time, and it's been so fun. I just met Seth there. So yeah, we're of the same age and same ilk of Star Wars. And Seth, we are a comic book show. We talk about comic books, old ones, new ones, future ones, with just a touch of outrage, but usually we like to keep it on like the positive side. And there are plenty of things out there to be buying. And a big part of this is getting back to the local comic book shop. I go every Wednesday. Wednesday is the traditional new release day where I get a bag of Funnybooks. What's in the bag? 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 This is the ubiquitous brown paper flat bag full of Funnybooks. I spent $44 at my local comic book shop this past Wednesday. And I got a couple of Funnybooks I'm going to share with you at the end of the show. I usually get a pirate chest, a digital pirate chest from a reviewer friend of ours, and who shares with us their digital copies of DC and Marvel comic books. So this week, I got to read the show notes. My executive producer, Pika, the studio audience, Jay, and we have a Critical Drinker plushie around here somewhere. He's in his control booth directing the show, and this is filmed before a live studio audience of my stuffed animals and you. So the live stream's new, and this is our 4th week doing it, and it's really it's fun. I really like the live stream. And I'm starting to get used to using StreamYards now. So this coming Wednesday, because we're doing 2 shows a week now, we used to do a daily show, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. We did that for almost 2 consecutive years. But I needed a better work-life balance. And this drawing back on the show has definitely helped that. So I don't mind going into a more longer format show twice a week. And it's usually on Wednesdays and Sundays, and it's revolving around new releases. So Wednesday is the traditional new release day at your local comic book shop, your LCS. And so we read the menu of what's available. So I'm actually using StreamYards to record the shows now, so I can do that whole, share the screen thing. So we can look at the covers, the cover art, because they're out and about on someone else's website that let us, kind of do that. So that's cool. Thank you, leagueofcomicgeeks.com. Sláinte to you. Guinness, it's good for you. I brought some cookies too. If you thought you'd be hungry, you'd want a snack. So I got some Chips Ahoy's. Yeah. Buy Chips Ahoy's and not make your own. Can't say. They're kind of, Chips Ahoy's are a little salty. I like it. I can't get enough of them. But we did 19 Marvel Funnybooks this week. We read 12 different DC comic books this week. And we bought a few as well. One of the things that we're going to get back to at the end of the show is that my proof of the pudding is on the plate. See, the proof is never in the pudding. The complete allegory is the proof of the pudding is on the plate. Well, hello, Bristolian Dave. Welcome. How are you? Nice to see you. And I was going to dunk the cookies in the Guinness. I did that last time, and it was underwhelming. Yeah, but I would put. Okay, this is great. There used to be this legendary rock and roll place called the Rathskeller in Kenmore Square, Boston, Massachusetts, near Fenway Park. And a couple of doors down was this equally legendary late night deli called the Deli House, Haus. And they had a German spin on sandwiches. They were open till like 3, 4 in the morning, though. You could get a Guinness float, a pint of Guinness with a huge scoop of vanilla ice cream. It works. Merry Christmas, Bristolian Dave. Thank you so much. God bless everyone here. Cheers, man. And welcome. Think about subscribing and smashing that like button and turning on those notifications. It's weird. YouTube is incorrectly posting the data for this very show. So it's like we got like 15 viewers last week at the premiere, and it said I earned about 14 to 15 hours of public view time. And then overall, I got about 70, but it's only reporting like 15 views and 2.8 hours. In YouTube sometimes, but it's free. I can say what I want with anything that my editor, as the executive producer, is cleared and greenlit, fit for consumption for the channel. Let's get to some comic books. Why don't we? Indeed. Let's see. Let's start off with Marvel, because I feel that DC is having strong weeks. I've been seeing it for a couple of months now. This friend of mine has been sharing with me digital reader copies for maybe like 5 months now. And so I've got to get a really good handle on who are the writers doing what. And I'm trying to get a better handle on editors. Associate editor, group editor. And they are the legitimate gatekeepers. They are the ones that greenlight and shepherd, so they're the ones who are ultimately responsible for letting Tom King get published, or Jedzia Axelrod, of whom we'll talk about both of them this very week. But before that, let's get to some Marvel comics. I had read 19 Marvel comics this week. And 4 of them were Star Wars comics. I just came back from a really awesome Star Wars conversation over at Film Threat, and it's going on all night too. So it's just, we'll be talking Star Wars all night. I'm going back over there after the show ends. Maybe take time for a nap and a shower. You know what I mean? Just like, you got to make sure everything's still working down there. It's maintenance. We've got Wolverine issue number 40, written by Benjamin Percy, no art by Juan Jose Reap this time. You were supposed to be ad free. I want a fireplace. Really? Wolverine issue number 40. It's actually kind of weird and pointless and Fall of Xy. It is Fall of X. It is Fall of X trade dress on it, and but essentially it comes down to characters and character moments, and it's a team. The past every issue of Wolverine has been, he is not really dead. Mutants are being hunted. He's being low key, not being low key. No, low key, as in trying to keep under the radar of Orcus and trying to get back at them. And he needs his friends. So he hits up Steve Rogers. He hits up T'Challa. He hits up Ghost Rider. And he also hits up one of his best friends, Peter Parker. And I always love Peter's buoyant sense of humor versus Logan's 1,000-yard stare and matter of factness. But Logan also has a sense of humor, and he plays so well with Peter Parker. And so Wolverine number 40 kind of goes nowhere as a story. The art is even a little spotty here and there, but I will say this much. It was okay. You know, it's not the best. I'm not buying it. See, the proof of the pudding is on the plate. Will I buy it? And so if I read something digitally here that is impressive, I do go back and buy it. We might see proof of that at near the end of the show when we look into that little brown bag full of funny books, fresh funny books this week, bought from the local comic shop. And please enjoy the comic book shop style conversation while you're here. Thank you so much. This has been fun. And let's go. We go back to Uncanny Spider-Man number 5, Fall of X, 5 of 5, maybe 5 of 6 or 6 of 5, because I'm totally filing the X-Men Origin Blue in with Uncanny Spider-Man, which is Kurt Wagner, and trying to, he's putting on a Spider-Man costume and playing superhero because he needs to, try to get that spark back. He's hooking up with Silver Sable. Really cool. It's really hot too. And he's being reunited with his mom, Mystique. And apparently there's an old joke about 2 moms and a turkey baster that we will not tell here. That it's best left in the 20th century. We don't want to be accused of punching down on people with old jokes. I mean, because it's out there. I mean, that's but really, hey, George Lucas, good to see you. We miss you. Will you please buy back Star Wars? Please forgive us. I liked the prequels when they came out. It took the Red Letter Media Mr. Plinkett reviews to get me to come to Earth with the rest of my friends who were saying, like, dude, the prequels are stinkers. And I'm like, I never felt like the prequels were stinkers, but it explained to me all of my odd feelings of what, you know what I mean? Oh, that verbalizes my pain. It does. Let's see. Oh, top chat, live chat. Okay, there we go. I'm just getting used to all of these buttons. It's like mission control down here. I have a tiny Christmas tree. Okay, it's festive in here. I like Christmas season. I really do. I get some time off of work. I can sleep in tomorrow. So yeah, Uncanny Spider-Man. It lands better than some of the other Fall of X 5-issue minis. And it's okay, sure. Then comes Uncanny Avengers number 5, which is another 5-issue Fall of X mini that has the Unity team of the Avengers and the X-Men. So you got Rogue, Captain America, Quicksilver, you got Monet St. Clair. Who else? You got Psylocke, but who's Quanon? Is that how you say her name? And then Deadpool. And Deadpool and this is just like, it gets over the toppy, outrageously superhero-y by the end of it, and I like it. I mean, I didn't mind this one bit. We had the reveal on who is Captain Krakoa, and I don't know, it's just like, I mean, I'm not here for this part of the conversation. Is it preachy? Is it political? Is it using allegory? Is it not? I mean, it's a tale of 2 Steve Rogers. They bring back Hydra Steve, who likes to go by the name Hugh because to differentiate, because he's not Steve. So it's just like the Hydra Cap is still out there. And so it's like so it kind of goes there, but I mean, it's fine. Yeah. Bowen says he liked the prequels too. Yeah. I mean, here's a good one for you. When it comes to Star Wars, I became in 1999. I had both. I mean, you can barely see it, but those are the hilts of the 1999 Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan lightsabers. I got on my wall back there. I had the Darth Maul double-sided one. I had read the book already. I had seen all the trailers, all the spoilers, and the girlfriend that I was with at the time, she didn't see any of that. And she was a huge Star Wars fan herself. And just to see the look in her eyes and just this whole finding out new as it's going on. See, if I hadn't seen Darth Maul whip out that double-sided lightsaber to ignite that other side in all of those trailers and all that shit, if I had just like put the blinders on, I would have lost my shit like a little kid seeing that. I totally would have. Dun, 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 dun. And yeah, man. I so after that I went on a spoiler free thing. I went to like some kind of weird fandom induced lockdown mode of information. I couldn't be spoiled on anything. And then this came back in 2015. So I'm just thinking all the regret I have of like going back to that level of canon, that level of orthodoxy, to be like, no spoilers. I want to be that person that has experienced this brand new, spoiler free for the first time, you know, in my mind. And what a waste of fucking effort that was for the Disney sequels. Oh man. I was just, oh fuck. Live and learn, huh? Let's get back to the funny books. We're coming up to some Star Wars comic books, which is good. Keep in theme because well, we have, but before that, we have well, you know what? We'll come back to that. We'll do a twofer. Okay, let's do all 4 Star Wars books. And there's one Star Wars book here that I kind of liked. It was it's Star Wars: The High Republic, Volume 3, issue number 2. It's written by Charles Soule, I believe. No, by Kevin Scott. But he's okay. And this is set in the High Republic. It's yeah. Oh, Bone, I envy you. I really do. I do. You don't need to. I mean, yeah. God bless you. You haven't. Kind of jealous. But of all the Star Wars comic books that came up this week, the High Republic ones, you know, it was the best of the bunch, most readable, most enjoyable. It felt very in universe, and like you can say all you want about representation and diversity and blah blah woof woof. I mean, I don't. It's yeah. I mean, it's just Star Wars. That doesn't exist there. It's kind of like in kind of like on DC World where you're saying like save the climate. I mean, if you have Swamp Thing and Superman, I don't think that they have the same earthbound problems as we do. I don't think they have social injustice. I don't think they have a racism problem like we do, and I don't think that they have climate issues or fears or concerns the way that we do. They wouldn't exist on those planets. Just saying. So I think all that shit is just that is when people say, "Oh, messaging bad." Yeah. Dark Horse, yeah, made a lot of good Star Wars comics. They really did. Actually, one of the things I figured out that like if I want to buy a run or get a run of, I would want all 107 Marvel Star Wars comics, and I think there are 3 annuals, maybe 3. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look into that. I mean, I have very few complete runs, and I would love to have a complete run of like Battlestar Galactica, of Shogun Warriors, and of Star Wars. I would love to have that Marvel licensed stuff of the late 70s, the complete runs, because Battlestar is not that long. Shogun Warriors isn't that long. ROM is a little long. Micronauts is a little long, but as an adult in hindsight, I'm like, oh, wow, look at that Michael Golden art. Holy shit, that's good. You know? But we also have Star Wars Darth Vader written by Greg Fuck You Pack. We also have Star Wars Dr. Aphra written by Alyssa Yu Wong. 2 people that got my name off some kind of weird list, a group block list. They blocked me on Twitter without any direct interaction. It could be because I'm adjacent to bad persons. It could be because I'm on an adjacentish hosts weekly comic book roundup. Hey, if you're banning me because I'm on West, then I earned that. Sure, yeah, I'll take that. Fuck off. But Apparently, it was because I said something about it. Took an Asian American person to point that out, being like, "You must be on some kind of AAPI list." I'm like, "Oh, what?" She was like, "Yeah, did you say anything about?" I must have said something about the Shang-Chi movie or about Danny Rand losing the Iron Fist, and that made me a bad person. I'm not going to agree to that. Oh my goodness, it's AL. Hi, how's it going? Merry Christmas. I hope your daughter's feeling better. I hope everyone got it. Poor AL, she got COVID housed, and yeah, it was like a reality movie in there, a reality TV show in there. It's COVID house. Everyone in this house is COVID right now. Let's see how they react to each other. I need to get in the bathroom. Something like that. It's a fight for chicken soup. Indeed. Good to see you. So there was Star Wars Darth Vader by Grave Pak. There was Star Wars Dr. Aphra by Alyssa Wong. And Eric O'Sullivan, who's a bad person. But these are part of the Dark Droids event series. Like, I cannot tell you what's going on. I've read every single issue of this 6-month-long 30 floppies for this Star Wars Dark Droids mini event that happens in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. There's absolutely no tension. This is as safe as milk, and it's kind of stupid too. But they have to do something with their property. And there are at least 6 monthlies set in that era. Then you have like two High Republics. You have over a Dark Horse hyperspace stories. And there are literally, like, no lie, almost, I think, 10 or so Star Wars magazine comic books, floppies a month. 10. And none of them are set in the First Order. None of them are set in the Resistance. You know what I mean? They've stayed far away from that. The furthest they've gone in that continuity has to have been in the Disney park at Galaxy's Edge. Nice. Hey, James, how you doing? Merry Christmas. Greetings from work. Hopefully the tourists don't chew you up. I mean, the tourists leave you alone. It'll be a Christmas miracle, like on Days of Our Lives. A Christmas miracle. Jonah came back to Alexis. Doc. That's a Drake Hogston. I played John Black. He had we called the Who Cut the Cheese acting method. There's always that look. Any Days of Our Lives fans out there? That's good to know. There we go. So far, so good. Indeed. And then there was something else called Star Wars Revelations, which is a trade dress that's going to be uniting the 6 core Star Wars books after Dark Droids. So this is the setup for the next event. And it's just, there's going to be different stories told, in different eras that all tie together with some central events and characters. So, yeah. I mean, Dr. Aphra, I mean, like, it's not made for me. This is a perfect example of saying something this is definitely made for maybe like a woman or an effeminate man, and that's what it is. And it's specifically tailored. It's engineered to try to appease, that audience. It's fine with that. We have enough titles. We have enough characters. There's the galaxy is wide enough for all of us. I'm ripping off Hamilton. Like the world is wide enough for Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr. I saw Hamilton. That was a great night at the theater. I saw Hamilton in Chicago in 2017. We were 20 rows up from the stage. $200 a piece back then. Worth every cent. Indeed. All right. But those were the Star Wars books for this month. So there are 4 Star Wars books just this month. I mean, yeah, just this week. In a month, you get 10. Seriously. Then we have 3 Spider-Man books just to get through real quick. The spine-tingling Spider-Man by Saladin Ahmed. It's interesting. It gets better. It's written for the trade, so it's only going about 4, maybe 5 issues, I think, and it's like some horror, macabre stories. But oh no, we have Mysterio Tech. We should have known what was going on the entire time, but oh no, it's Mysterio being held against his will and having his tech used against him and Spider-Man. But so it's okay. Then there's Spider-Boy issue number 2 and Superior Spider-Man number 2, both written by Dan Slott. Both decent Spider-Man comic books. I'll say, you know what? He's been writing Spider-Man for better parts of 2 decades. And these are pretty decent. Superhero fare. You can knock people all you want for blocking you on Twitter for no reason but their own ego, vanity, and insensitivity towards other people. I mean, all they need, these people need enemies. They need oppressors in order for their ideology to work. I mean, you should am I somebody's enemy just because of the way I feel about Iron Fist? Or thought that Shang-Chi looked a little ridiculous? I mean, I thought Simu Liu was acting like a jerk. I lost a beloved viewer over that. Seriously. I mean, I don't give a shit who he looks like on the outside. He's being such an asshole to us fans. I know he's just pushing back. There's got to be shitloads of fucking toxic fans out there. But to treat us all like that, I understand there's a part of it too that if we're not doing it, then we shouldn't feel that way or feel spoken to that way. So that's something, I can take in, I can do myself. Sure. Holy shit. My brother, Monfrere Tomas, que onda, que paso. This is my buddy, Thomas Gilkey. And he's a big deal on here on the YouTube. People know him. He's the glue that holds us communities together. He's a nice guy too, and we hang out occasionally. We are part of the local fellowship. We call it NERD, the New England Rebellion Detachment, and we meet up at conventions and random movie nights, and we have supper together. Sometimes it's like 7 or 8 of us or 9 of us. Isn't that nice? These YouTube chats have brought in these shows. They have brought people together. If you have a chance, meet up, hang out together, break bread, see a superhero movie together. Merry Christmas. Now, Thomas doesn't mind. He doesn't mind Disney Star Wars, but he also doesn't like ice hockey. And I'm pretty sure that he prefers his lime Kool-Aid garnished with strips of bologna. That part's a joke. I made that up. I have no evidence. I just like busting his balls. This is my buddy. Good to see you, Thomas. And Stefan DeMero with the secret tunnels under. There we go. We have a Days of Our Lives viewer out there, and also Victor Kiriakis. He was John Aniston, Jennifer Aniston's father. So Jennifer Aniston is a second generation NBC actor. Her father played Victor Kiriakis on Days of Our Lives for 50 years. So that's no wonder why she got Ferris Bueller and then Friends, because she had an in at NBC. Her dad. And now she's Jennifer Aniston. Here you go. Do. And no one told you that was gonna be. Shut up. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's taken away. Please subscribe to the Gilk Man. Seriously, and give him we can give him an excuse to go out there and put on some make some games and put out some. He's on his walks, and he's got some nature walk stuff, and he's a good guy. Back to the funny books. We have GODS number 3 by Jonathan Hickman. Maybe this is like what you're supposed to say when after you read it, like, gods, what did I waste my time on? Gods, this was so boring. It's beautiful boring, and it's well written boring, but it's I mean, is it one of those things? Just Hickman's good at this of like, 4 issues of just fluff, and then the one issue he can tie it all together. He did that with the Ultimate Invasion. He had 4 issues of Ultimate Invasion. It was just like, huh? What? And then 1 issue of Ultimate Universe that ties it all up after that. Oh, wow. Everything makes sense now. Probably going to happen here too. Oh my gosh. Hulk number 7. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Original X-Men number 1 by Christos Gage. That was okay. It was decent. Like some more of this kind of like time lost Phoenix Genie going back to her own self in the past and giving her a mission. And she needs the young team to come to the future to convince original members of the old team that they shouldn't be so like, uncaring, that they should like, you need to step up and help Jeannie or else we're going to lose our world. Something like that. And yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. Here's one. Doctor Strange number 10 by Jed McKay. Is it Jed? No, this is Ben Percy, right? No, it's Jed McKay, but with great art by Pascal Ferry. And I know I bag upon like digital trickery in comics, but it works here because it goes very well with Ferry's line art. So it is very cartoony. It looks like it's out of a late 1970s heavy metal magazine. Heavy metal was a adult illustrated fiction. It had nudity, had sex, erotica. Probably turns me on to Jean Giraud, Mobius, Milo Manara. The whole, it was an adult comic. It was always a treat to be able to find a copy of Heavy Metal. It really was. And hey, see you next year, James. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a little bit on the show. And every minute counts, apparently, for public view hours. But also, I got Yule Carter of Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California, and he's got a stack of comics brewing for me in his shop. And I asked him, because there are 2 Peach Momoko covers this week. They're called the Nightmare variant, and it's for Hulk 7 and Doctor Strange number 10. And he's like, yeah, I got them both. Want me to put them aside for you? And I'm like, yes, please. And I'm like, oh, right. I'm going to get those Peach Momoko variant covers. I'm a sucker for a variant cover like that. I am. And I like that part of being a comic book fan. And so I'm looking forward to and this was a really good issue too, as this is the issue where it's called Nebraska Part 2, and it's about Dr. Stephen Strange having to reconcile his time-lost remnant, the General Stephen Strange, for 5,000 years, who was a warrior and then got trapped, and then having these kind of 2 copies of Stephen Strange, and what to do with the General, and it's pretty okay. And it's got a really good Alex Ross cover to it as well. But I like the Peach Momoko variants. I do. It was Alien number 2 by Declan Shelby. It was just rightfully should be like Aliens number 8, because it's the same story. And I don't like, it's just, they started a new issue 1, and it's basically like the same story from the past 6-issue one. I mean, but this is where that awfulness of new issue 1's come into play. I feel that. There's Astonishing X-Men number 5, Fall of X, 5-part mini, not made for me. This is made for a tangible demographic, a small demographic. But everyone needs to see themselves in comics, and I'm not begging on that notion. There are so many comics out there that you actually have the ability in this medium to fulfill that niche. You do. I mean, so you can have Astonishing X-Men. You can have something like Alan Scott Green Lantern. I mean, it's always the argument comes down to the fairness or unfairness of swaps. We call them swaps, usually race swaps, gender swaps, or even a sexual preference swap now. But yeah, Astonishing Iceman, yeah, one of these 5-issue Fall of X minis, kind of it doesn't land very, it didn't land very well for me. It wasn't made for me, and it just whatever. I can live with that. The Cap Wolf in the Howling Commandos #3 by Stephanie Phillips. This is mediocre. It's fine. It's decent. It's okay. There's Daredevil Black Armor by G.J. Is it G.G.? Is it D.G. Chichester? And it's like set in between like this like blip in Daredevil stories in the early 1990s where he put on some armor and pretended that Matt Murdock was dead. So he was Jack Batlin, a boxer, and yeah. So this is like I feel like this is Marvel's attempt at like, oh, we are making comics for you older fans. Here you go. It's set exactly between like two moments in time. It's got no tension, no stakes, but it's like it's all member berries, member. Yeah. And the last Marvel comic we'll talk about this week is Amazing Spider-Man #40, $4.99. It's got a lot of art. It's got art by John Romita Jr. with inks by Scott Hanna. I mean, there's a weirdness to this where digital takes away from the JR Jr. art and the just Scott Hanna inks. Like this, odd, there's one part where Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, crashes into a gang, and she just pushes them into some wooden boxes in a warehouse. And the digital onomatopoeia crash, CRACH, it's so odd looking where it's placed. It's just they look like just the onomatopoeia. It's a word that's spelled the way it sounds. Oh my goodness! Look who fell in the gig. Ladies and gentlemen, often duplicated, never reproduced, the one and only Nerdy Girl creates. It's Carrie. Hello and happy New Year's Eve. I mean, happy Christmas Eve. There we are. I've only had one so far. Astonishing X-Men was really good. I read that on a motion comic, and which wasn't quite animated. It was using the existing John Cassaday panels and art as as like the basis of some kind of like moving thing, they called it a motion comic for a reason, and it wasn't truly animated. And then they had character voices and sound effects underneath that too. It was interesting. Happy Christmas. What disrespect are we talking about, Carrie? Like that he's being replaced by a girl? I mean, yeah, he's getting replaced by a girl. Stronger, better, prettier. Oh, what's her name? War Road? Yeah, it's I've been reading the past 5 months of it's Ben Percy, right? Ben Percy's doing Ghost Rider. It's not that bad. Ah. Hey, Yule Carter, ladies and gentlemen, from Fantastic Comics of Berkeley, California himself, and the one and only Yule Carter. Make sure you tune into his show every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific. He's got a great show. It's told from a comic book shop's owner's point of view, and he's also a fan. The MCU wants to do a Midnight Suns movie without him. You know, we all know that Nicolas Cage will act in anything. And it probably wouldn't take more than just like asking and a good script to get him back to play to play Johnny Blaze. And then you can put any other you can put Danny Ketch, Rodney Reyes? Robbie Reyes, who's he drives the muscle car. And then there's the cosmic one that used to be Frank Castle, but then he had to share his power because of his entitlement. It's something like that. Everyone loves Yule. Yule shows up, and then we can break out the good china, you know. I'd rather have Norman Reedus. Indeed, that's a good idea. That's a really good I like that too. I'll drink to that. Let's see. Let's fill up this cup. Once again, a demo on how to properly pour a pint of Guinness from the nitro can, giving it time to settle just a little bit, which also gives us our model of the Big Bang, the light cone. I love physics. I love astrophysics. I like smart shit. But I'm a terrible student. I really am. Okay, let's see. How about that? Not a drop. All right. And that's how it's done. The MCU wants to do a movie without him. I'm having a beer at work. Aren't I lucky? Well, you're joining in company. Cheers, brother. And I hope it's busy at Fantastic Comics. People getting last-minute gifts. And you remember, if you need any last-minute gifts, you have until next week when it's like Greek Christmas. You know what I mean? You can be like, oh, I thought you were Greek Orthodox. Oh, your gift will be there by then. Sorry, my bad. So get them a present in time for Greek Orthodox Christmas. And you've got some grace time. And hit up Yule Carter at Fantastic Comics. His deets are in the description. You know, if you don't have a local comic book shop, you could be your very own mailbox away from having your LCS, your local comic book shop. Talk to Yule. That's your business with him. But yeah, that's that. That's unpaid advertisement. He's my friend. Aw. You can't break one up the middle school. Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that in front of the children. Well, think about the children. All right. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man number 40. I love the art. I love J.R. Jr.'s art. And it's because it's about pacing. It's about camera work. And just like he's a master. Okay. And the last page has it's got J.R. Jr. drawing Typhoid Mary. It's so weird. He's the only one that can draw Typhoid Mary just right, because he's the co-creator, you know. And yeah, and those were the Marvel comics. Now let's get to some DC comics here. We'll do this alphabetically in reverse. So hey, Jacqueline, how you doing? Good to see you. We'll do this in reverse, starting with our very own best friend, Tom King. And Wonder Woman number 4. Oh man, Wonder Woman number 4. Read it. Not entirely terrible. Not entirely good. The Danielson pair art, and it's just fascinating. He's smashing it. Beautiful Diana. What a really good looking Diana. I like. She's tall. She's thick. She's strong. She's very pretty. This is a really ideal version visually of Diana of Themyscira. The story notes. I mean, the Tom King story, he's not my cup of tea. I did, though, like the Trinity backup. Trinity is the girl, Lizzie, who's probably not Diana's biological offspring. And, but it's a couple of years in the future. And so you have versions of John Kent and Damian Wayne, babysitting her, at certain top parts of her life. And they grow up to be Superman and Batman with her as the Wonder Woman. So they are their own trinity in some future that may or may not come to be. But yeah, it's Tom King. How many issues does he have on Wonder Woman? Has he got 12 issues on Wonder Woman? Because this could be just okay, spoilers. The thing is, the patriarchy guy at the end of it, he's talking to Amanda Waller and starts rattling. It's like they're gonna unleash all of Diana's rogues gallery against her, and ending with, like, I guess, Dr. Psycho and Cheetah. So it's like, this is something that's been done before too. We've seen it a few times, specifically in like Nightfall, the Batman story, where Bane is waiting for him after like running this gauntlet of his toughest enemies. Bruce is worn down and he just wants to get back to the Batcave to rest, recuperate, heal his wounds. And who's waiting for him? It's Bane, who breaks his back. And it's this whole thing of, are they just they're gonna wear Wonder Woman down and do the Nightfall thing, because that's like Tom King's like big bag. He likes to pull the wings off of insects and burn them with a magnifying glass in the sun. I'm sorry, that's really cruel to say about anyone. I feel kind of bad about saying it, but also it's like, that's what Tom King does. That's what he does to these superheroes. Indeed. We've got Titans Beast World Tour, Central City #1. Wasn't that bad of an issue. It's just got a lot of digital stuff going on. See, I'm a huge Flash fan, and this is all about the Flash family. So it's got basically everyone except for Wally in it, because he's a Titan. So this is about, the Titans doing their thing. And he's also doing something with Cy Spurrier on his own title as well. And Cy Spurrier is writing a chunk of this. He's writing the Barry Allen, Irie West team up, which is interesting because there's Beast World. Okay, humans and villains and heroes get infected with a spore, a Staros spore, that will morph you into like a spirit animal. And so Godspeed has been transmogrified into a murder hornet, like a big hornet. It looks like Godspeed. It's white with gold and a lightning bolt. So, but Iron Heights Prison has been turned into a hive for these murder hornets. Now, here's the rub. Ethan Van Sciver helped co-create Iron Heights Prison and the Flash mythology with Jeff Johns about 20 years ago. And the murder hornet is the bad guy in Ethan's Cyberfrog book. So I'm wondering Is this some kind of Cy Spurrier oblique diss on EVS? I don't know. It's, that's interesting, though. We got Superman #9. We'll talk about that at the end of the show when we open up the bag of comic books. We've got Nightwing issue number 109, written by Tom Taylor. Another striking cover by Bruno Redondo. Interesting interior art. I liked the last issue, so I didn't really I didn't dislike this issue. But it's Tom Taylor. It kind of like, I don't know. Does he write Nightwing well? Hey, Derek Calvin, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by. Let's see. So we get Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong number 3. Now, this is fun. And because it is what the title says it is. It's just the Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong. And it's Monster Island. And then there are monsters. There are kaiju. And the Justice League. And it works. And it's fun. It's well drawn. And I hope you like it as much as I do. It might be worth going back and getting. This is going to collect well. I know that. So this will make a very handsome, pretty. What happened to pretty? Of trade paperback. Are they still objectifying Nightwing more than ever? Yeah. It's chest and shoulders, his open shirt. He looks like Fabio without the hair, though. He is, because he's going to this pirate thing. He's swashbuckling, baby. He's in love with the pirate queen. That's great. Good on you. Good on you, Richard. Good on you. And there's Jay Garrick, The Flash number 3 by Jeremy Adams. It's colorful. It's really well drawn, I guess. It's cute. It's got eye-popping colors, and it's about Jay Garrick having to adjust to fatherhood with a teenage daughter, but he's elderly because they're both kind of time lost. And it's good. It's fun, and it's gonna play well with all the JSA stuff, the Justice Society of America, because they also have Young Justice Society coming out. They have Justice Society Dark being played around with at JSA. And remember, there's only, I think, 3 more issues left of Justice Society of America. These are Jeff Johns' last DC stories. Are you in? Are you out? Let me know. Hawk Girl number 6, written by Jadzia Axelrod, with really nice art by Nal Lupin. Is that his name? I forget. But issue 5 and issue 6 of this series weren't all that bad. As a superhero story, Kendra Saunders lands, and it's the story told. It's fine. It's just, this is not made for me. And remember, the writer blocked me on Twitter because I had the audacity to say something that wasn't just some glowing review, supportive. Like, it's one of these weird, how am I supposed to support people like that? Or that needy and judgmental? I mean, geez, you need an oppressor. You need an enemy, because yeah, sure. Okay. Well, I hope you find someone that's worthy of it. Yay. Let's see. But yeah, it actually landed okay. And I'm still not thrilled with like the lettering, which is weird because Hassan Osmani Allahu does it. He's doing everything these days, man. He's pretty solid too. But yeah, that's not made for me. It's made for a very specific audience. that can be represented and sold a magazine. Because there are plenty of these magazines that definitely are made for me, and I'm fine with that. Like Green Lantern War Journal #4 by Philip Kennedy Johnson. I'm not buying this, which is weird because I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. And as stories goes, I think it's actually a better story than what Jeremy Adams got going over on Green Lantern, the normal series. And let's see, yeah, because it's got a really good story with Jon Stewart, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. We got Catwoman #60, written by Teenie Howard, but this really good art by his name's Raffaele, he's an Italian artist, and you can see he shares that fine line art that comes from like other Italian artists or European artists like Jean-Gerard Mobius or the Italian Milo Manara. It just draws beautiful women, and I really liked Catwoman #59, and that's a Teenie Howard book too. So it's like, listen, this person is quite capable of writing a decent superhero story, because issue 59 was really, really decent. I really liked it. I like putting Selena back in her purple costume. I really like this artist, and part 1 of 9 Lives wasn't all that bad. Part 2, it was good. It wasn't great, but maybe my expectations were inflated because of my satisfaction with the previous issue. It could be just simple. It could be just something like that. Simple, We have here's something. We got Batman Superman's World's Finest #22. Art by Dan Mora, but written by Mark Waid. And we're gonna talk about I do too. I like Phil Kennedy Johnson a lot. I'm surprised I'm not getting War Journal because I wasn't satisfied with the art. And that's going back to when it was a backup in Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern for the first 3 issues. And then I just really, this a really muddled color palette. Lots of that modern purple. And remember, I only got over my usage. I only came to my conclusion about modern purple last week. So yeah, remember, because purple are blues working alongside with reds together, making purple. So blues, be like modern purple in all the comic books you're reading. You need to include the reds, and you need to be better. Be purple. And this is right. His last action comic comes out next week. It's an annual. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be all over that. I don't know if I'll be buying the Jason Aaron action comics, but I will listen to what everyone's talking about. If there's good buzz, then I'll get it. It was the buzz. It was that same kind of word of mouth, that same kind of buzz that got me interested in buying action comics way back at 1051 when this all started. And I'm like, and this is coming out of Philip Kennedy Johnson's War World stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. That was like where I kind of jumped on to Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman and was really happy with it. And then also having Joshua Williamson over on Superman, I feel it's a really awesome time to be a Superman fan. So I hope that Jason Aaron can add to that. I am liking his Hulk run too a lot. His Hulk came out this week, and that's just what an amazingly noisy comic book that is, isn't it? We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. We're going to get there. Purple is the color for K-pop. These people, that's part of it too. Purple's been a trendy color for a few years now, and millennials and Gen Xers and Zoomers identify with purple and its luggage of like social justice and change and stuff. Really, indeed. And let's just finish this up. So we got Batman Superman World's Finest #22. Solid issue, great story. But is anyone going to buy it? How many people out there have put down Mark Waid over his his social media statements and his impact on you? And I have an insulation, one could say. Like, I was buying World's Finest. I'm not currently buying it. I stopped about maybe 4 issues ago. I just felt it was like, it's fun, but I'd rather be buying something else, because it's also, when you buy a comic book, you also have to, put some effort into like keeping it, a bag, a board, a box, they accumulate, you could be buying something else. I don't buy everything. I buy things that interest me, things that I want to read, things that I know that I'll read again. That's a big sell. Like, I don't see myself rereading Batman Superman's World's Finest. Is because it's like this kind of okay, cutesy, I've always been met on Wade. It's easy to hate him. True, but also like I don't know. He did my favorite Flash story. It's called Blood Will Run. It's a Wally West Flash story, and it brings up Savitar, who is Wally's nemesis, more so than, this was way before Zoom 2. So Savitar was really supposed to be Wally's Reverse Flash, so much so that Savitar actually had yellow and red smuggled into his costume. I mean, like the more like yellow with a red trim to it, to put that iconic color combination working for Savitar. And but yeah, I take Wade in the same kind of vein I take EVS. I don't take Ethan seriously. I love Ethan. I watch him all the time. He's got my sense of humor. And I don't take him seriously. And the only people that take him seriously is his haters, because they need him. They need to take him seriously in order to leverage shit against him. I mean, so if I don't take Ethan seriously, why should I take Mark Waid seriously? And yeah, I'm not even, I don't do Facebook. I've never have. And it's not my scene. Twitter and YouTube, it's enough for me. Seriously. Cheers. And use guys, hanging out with use guys. Good to see you. All right. It was Batman Offworld #2 by Jason Aaron, and awesome art by Doug Mankey. This is like really pick of the week kind of material. I feel like the story kind of falters a bit in the last couple of pages, but the art never quits. It's really fun. It's really well drawn, and I was literally cheering for the good guy. And that's such a great compliment to give to any kind of action story. You're literally cheering along with the progression of the story, rooting for Batman as he's getting his little victories. You know what I mean? He's not going to be able to beat the big boss yet, but his henchmen, and he's learning how to fight different aliens. So different aliens have different pressure points. So this is just really fun, and also because it kind of like, World's Finest doesn't do it for me because it lacks tension, because it's set in the past. You know what I mean? It's like, at least in continuity, you have this unpaved newness that, awaits you, and some tension and some stakes. So the same thing could be said about Batman Off-World, that there are no tension and there is no stakes because it's set in the past. This is like a year 3 Batman, before Dick Grayson. And, but I guess it's all in the way you do it, because it's really fun. I'm really enjoying Batman Off-World so much. Yeah, R.I.P. Punchbot. Punchbot's great. Yeah, and Off-World has grown on me. Yeah, I mean, I love Doug Mankey art. And this is fun. And I'm liking having these fun comic books, because we got one more. And it's Batman Santa Claus Silent Night #3 of 4. And well, let's just get to it. Let's talk about what's in the bag. What's in the bag? What did we get? Well, as I like to say, we get if I read something in my digital treasure chest, my digital pirate chest, and it's that good, I will go back and get it. So I went back and I got Batman Santa Claus Silent Night 1 and 2 because as they should be, they were behind issue number 3, which was new last week. And so I got all 3 of them. And I'll be picking up issue number 4 this coming Wednesday. And it's a 4-issue series. And I am in the future going to be decorating my spinner rack with these holiday themed issues. And I think that's a really nice idea. Maybe some tinsel and some lights too, you know. I've never really done that. Like treat my spinner rack like a Christmas tree or something. But I got a couple of these holiday themed variant covers, and I'm just having a great time with it. I love it that DC seems to be respecting Christmas this year with all the holiday variants. I mean, Green Arrow number 7 has a holiday variant coming out for it. I just might buy it for that if it's on the shelf because it looks just beautiful. It's got Green Arrow shooting an arrow at Santa, you know, with that's supposed to be like the Green Lantern, Green Arrow, no Hard Traveling Heroes one. Yeah, I mean, it looks so good. And then there's a Titans one, which is like, it's a Christmas card. It's just the Titans themselves, you know, all in red and the same kind of sweater. The family Christmas card. Dude, I like this shit. I like that stuff, man. And I could be swayed with a variant cover. But yeah, I ended up getting all 3 available issues. I'll be getting the 4th one next week. The art in this is really good. And this is also in continuity. And it's a lot of fun. There are good comic books out there. They're out there. We need to find them. We need to also listen to our friends who might have the same tastes as us. And it seems to me that we as a group are saying a lot of the same things. And one of them is Batman Santa Claus Silent Night is a sleeper hit that you should not miss out on. What's in the bag? Speaking of holiday variant covers, I got this Superman number 9 by Joshua Williamson with some really delicious interior art by Bruno Rendato. Now, you know, I can see all the digital stuff. You know, it's like I learned this from watching a lot of EVS that when there's not a lot of line art in the back, you're leaving those details to your color artist. So it's like a cheat. And there's a lot of cheating in this, I guess. But, you know, it's really decent. But what got me was I got the Superman holiday cover. I also got the Green Lantern one. So you know what? I'm kind of in the mood to buy the holiday variants. And next year, I'm going to decorate my spinner rack with the holiday variants. I like that. And it's also, I've been buying this. And this is a fun comic book. Superman. Incredible Hulk number 7. This is so good. Hey, everybody. Memes of Destruction is here. All right. This is a loud comic book. We have a Ghost Rider. A World War II kind of Ghost Rider. We got a lot of hand-drawn onomatopoeia in here. That's part of the art. You know what I mean? Look at that. A Hulk comic book is a loud comic book. There's a lot of smashing, a lot of groaning, a lot of gross, you know, stuff. I mean, here you can see like that raw, that's digital. But the whoosh, that's hand-drawn on a nice splash here. Too. This isn't a splash page, but you know, or what would it be? because we get a huge, like, this is the progress of the panels. Read like that. And look, a video game ad. I know it's for PS5 for Spider-Man 2, but come on, when was the last time I said that about a modern comic? Look, a video game ad. It's, yeah, I think that's awesome. And I like this book a lot. And the art in it is really good. And it's Philip Kennedy Johnson. This is, by Nick Klein, does the art, and really good stuff. I also got issue 5 of The Plot Holes by Sean Gordon Murphy. I wonder if this is the end. Yes, this is the last issue. And now I'm going to sit down and read them all. I decided to play catch up first. And, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Sean Gordon Murphy. And I'm glad to have been able to back him here. To buy his stuff at the local comic book shop. Hello there, DJ Ronnie. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. This was at the checkout counter when I was leaving the store. It cost $5.99, which is about the same price as a decent comic book. It's a little golden book. And it's the Bee Gees, dude. And look, there's a series: the Beatles, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Ross, Carol Burnett, and Misty Copeland. And yeah, it's the last page there. Aww. You would there are so many bangers written by Barry Gibb. It's not even funny. You notice that they left out all the coke, but not the disco. Okay, the coke is somewhere in this room, probably in the bathroom. But yeah, I mean, this has caught my attention on the way out. I got this, and this is really fun. Yay. And my pick of the week for buying comics is by Ram the Fifth. Ram V. This is Rare Flavors, issue number 3. And this is special. I love the color palette in this. It's restrained. It's curated. It doesn't turn everything into a morass of purple. It's got some weird art. It reminds me of European comics. And it's not superhero stuff, but this is the power of sequential art and the periodical publication of serialized storytelling. I just love the pacing and just the level of attention in this and the quality. And also there's a backdrop, a B story of cuisine. I'm a chef. This is my trade. I love this book. This book is amazing. And yeah, this is Ram V, Rare Flavors. Yeah, and that's what we got this week. Tomorrow is Christmas Day. I'll be spending it at home in the company of the Lord of the Rings, the extended cut, with the cast and crew commentary tracks. And I'm going to be eating all day long like a hobbit. If I put this on by 8 a.m., it will be over by 8 p.m. Exactly. It takes about 12 hours, and it's worth it. I love the cast and crew commentary track. It's amazing. It's so fulfilling for me as a cinema fan. And yeah, that's new releases this week. Thank you so much. What are you sticking under your nose today? This week we have a couple of pints of Guinness because we got tomorrow off. I can sleep in. Warming ourselves by the fire. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I got some Thomas's English muffins. I'm gonna make myself a nice big breakfast. I'm gonna put on the Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna open some presents. I got a couple of presents, And I was supposed to hang out with my parents, but just a couple of things fell through. So we're gonna regroup and do it more for the following week on New Year's. So I have to do. I'll be doing Christmas solo tomorrow, which is fine. I don't. It's as long as they're healthy and safe. That's all that matters, and they're doing okay. But thank you so very much. It's 4:20 here in Boston. I have to sneak away to the. We're gonna put on the long song of the night, "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin. Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin, or The Prophet's Song by Queen. Something long. But thank you so very much. Merry Christmas. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me on Christmas Eve. I hope that tomorrow is really awesome for you. And we'll see you again on Wednesday, on new release day. And we'll talk about what new comics we can preview on Wednesday. All right. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.